What a day. What a day. What a day. We're going to get down to the soul level of what a channel versus a guide is. And what does it mean to both of us, right? How many people know that there are souls on the line wanting to know the difference between Brenda's idea of I am versus those ideas of I always am? That's what can happen with the nature of your love for yourself and your own soul. Okay, I don't have to come into this vibration and feel special, do I, by naming a name of those who know what that message is about? Jesus loves me is usually where some of those souls go. And we would say, I want more of that one. But there are so many of us who don't fall into that realm of I love who I am just because I'm told that that's the way to be. How do I express my beauty is up to me, correct? Do I look into the camera and say I love you always, or do I say thank you for not showing me who you really are? That's what a lot of people are doing. They're putting on, the brand new me face when they go through the process, and it can be a hard process for many. The bitch in all of us is a joke for many souls, but for some, it can very much feel like an empowerment symbol for us. That's why we are calling upon those souls who feel it in their hearts that they are not trying to demean others with the word, but they are using it as a sense of, I'm of strength, of beauty, and I don't give a damn who you are or where I am. I just know that I vibrate in the beauty of it. This is those ideas. Those are those ideas of love of self, right? The ones where we say in order to be strong, I need to be what? Angry? What is it about that word that shows us the strength? Or is it depending on the soul? Right? Everyone has their own idea about what that is. Is it an excuse to treat people badly? That's where many people go, right? This isn't about many, it's about some. Some of us are offended by those words lobbed at us. Brenda herself would say, I wouldn't hang around anyone that would be calling me that. Depending on the tone, right? I'm not aligned with anyone calling me anything that could potentially be taken the wrong way. How many people then start to utilize those visions in various ways, and it can be very disturbing for those of us who say, are you sure you mean it in the way that you claim? How many people realize it's a good way to be in the world for many when they say, I vibrate in that ability to express the anger? Okay? The demonic possession is where some will go, right? That think that channeling is about the demons. These are those religious warriors, right? Who claim that those who, channel Jesus are now in possession of some other kind of horrid vision. That's where many will go. So this is why those who claim I am of bitchiness would say to themselves, yeah, I claim it, I just don't admit to it. Okay, we all have our moments of betrayal of our own ideals. That's where a lot of it really lands for a lot of people. I don't need to demean myself in the process of soul, do I? Or for others, it would be I'm going to utilize that vision as an empowerment symbol, because it can be a symbol of strength. When you go to the nature of soul, many will say, oh yeah, that feels good. That one feels good for me, right? Intending to make it last. George Jones, another vision of an older vision of country, coming on the line saying, I would accuse this woman of her moments of it. How dare he lay that vision upon my soul, is where her vision goes. It's just an opinion. It's not anything that I need to take personally, is it? You see, this is what we're talking about with those souls who claim, I can tell you what I see from the other side of the veil. I'm not of the high in those mindsets that say, I'm not even going to tune in because I am offended by that word. Others are embracing it and utilizing it for their moments, where they say, yeah, this is who I am and this is where I want to be. There are many who claim that vision as strength. What they don't understand in many ways is that it can be a false identity that some people will try to embrace. Does it resonate with you, or is it something that we're starting to now see just float around in the world as if that is somehow okay, right? It doesn't matter on a soul level. It's depending on the situation. But in essence, those who would say, I call everyone I know that now, right? All females are those who claim bitches, right? We're the ones who say F you to this and that and whatnot. We have this arrogance, this embodiment of strength that says, I don't need to give a blank about anybody else's vision. I just do my own. Unless I'm not the lone wolf anymore. Okay? Once you start to come into that vision of I am of strength, if you have a lot of people who are around you, by all means, go and do that vision. And then you start to see who you have aligning with you. They may be the strength that you need to lift you up. It may be that those visions of I am now tapped into the nature of Madonna, right? She's one of those souls that says, oh, I lay that vision out for everybody. I don't mean anything personal by it. I have my moments of it, but I wouldn't claim it as of evil. That's where she vibrates in the vision. If a man, however, is here talking to us about what it is to label someone else that word, they might have something coming to them, right? They're just vibrating in the vision of that's the word that I was conditioned to use in certain situations, and I know it gets a reaction. That's where a lot of people are. If you're projecting that vision out to someone, what is it that you're actually hoping to achieve? Is it an inner embodiment of a symbol, such as the cross, or whatever vision of spiritual alignment you might be embodying? Or is it more like I'm going to take on the vision of someone who actually feels like they were labeled that so many times that then they say, fine, let me go ahead and act that way so you can see another aspect of who I am. Do I take anyone's bullshit is another vision of someone who would say, I love who I am. Okay? So just because this is not the most pious vision doesn't mean that those souls who are of the high in their minds are somehow to be demeaned for the way that they express. It's an expression. It's not meant to be personal until it is. What does that word mean to you versus to others? And this is where a lot of those ideas or symbols of society are very much about the idea of who's aligning with me. Do you align with me in the freedom to express beauty in any way, shape, or possible? Or am I limited by my own value system that says that I'm here to lift people up? If there is a word or an idea that could be potentially offensive to somebody, people are going to call the, what the politically correct police, right? It's literally, why take a chance on offending others, right? It's not about offending somebody or offensiveness. It's about telling them, I love you. If you're taking these words personally because it's a trigger, because those who were labeled that by their fathers or their mothers or their in-laws or whatnot, do you know how many people get lobbed offensive visions and they have to then hear it? That's another aspect of soul you may not want to walk down. So this vision of, oh, we have all got our moments of it, it's not about whether or not we agree with it. It's about how do we deal with it. How do we deal with the anger, frustration, and the guilt that many are starting to feel now. When they realize when you go through the soul vision, you're going to start to hear those words coming back to you. If it's in good jest, as Madonna would say, it's a beautiful vision for us. It's taken lightly. It's done in a way that is known. Had she come and say, I love calling people that, though, even if they don't take it as a joke, it's just the nature of habit for many. Okay, so we have these habits and we have these jokes, but so many souls are so serious in their vision of, I don't call anyone anything negative that could be taken offensive, because there are all sorts of souls who are actually still healing from the vision of destruction from those words. Fat is one of them. Ugly is another one. You have to build the bridge to those souls who actually know how to caretake the vision of those souls that know, I will not label anyone anything other than love. What this vision is a message of love for all. Whether or not you agree with it is up to you. It's entirely up to you. It's your own vision about what you expect to happen on the other side of the veil. But when we're in the vision of, I must be of guidance for those souls who have tender hearts, it's their minds. They've been beaten down with the words of wisdom. How many domestic violence visions can say, I'm not labeling myself anything because I heard that one labeled on me by my ex or my current? We have so many souls who are in the vibration of, I need to heal from abuse of the mouth. And others will say it was a word of caution. Right? This is not about telling people that there's something bad. It's literally about taking those souls' hearts in our minds and saying we understand. So by telling a crowd, hey bitches, that's a beautiful expression for so many. It's not meant to be, like intended for harm. But others are coming from different places of love and understanding. Whether or not I actually embody the vision of that soul that says, I'm of strength, dignity, honesty, integrity, and I don't let anyone call me anything negative. I don't care what their problem is, right? It's not about that. She knows there's a difference in the vision. Does it feel comfortable for her? No. Why? Because I have to hear it on a soul level. Do I then fight back? You better believe I fight back. And I ask the soul vision, what are your intentions by saying that to me? That's a biggie. That's the main point. I may have my own vision of who in my family or my friends would say that to me in anger, not to my face. I can guarantee you that. And that's when that vision of, when she rises, she can get that vision of strength that is basically, yeah, now I'm going to be taking you down. You're going to get unwound in your vision. Most people will say, whoa, what does that mean? It means on a soul level, I go toe to toe for those of us who have to hear the visions of others who are not ready to rise in their vibration. They're not ready to see how labeling people names of negativity can actually hinder their own vision, right? And yet, on a soul level, everyone is telling us it doesn't matter what people say to us. It's about our own vision. Do I take that on? Right? We have to strengthen ourselves enough so that someone else's label doesn't attack us in our mind. How many people are hearing things and get triggered based on their past? I never heard words like that ever sent my way until I went to the level of awe and soul. I never knew how painful and destructive the visions of, it's like abusive words of wisdom would be. Okay, some people will say that I'm free and clear on the other side of the aisle, right? We have a country that is so it's like intent on destroying others' visions, that they label themselves the strength of a bitch in order to show them that they are about to do destruction on a mind level. Brenda allows for her own vision of love to come out. She will just put on her INFJ hat as a symbol of, now you know who you're dealing with. I don't need to call anybody any name. I just embody the strength of my personality type that knows how to see what's going on, why, and how I can actually change the situation for a better outcome, mostly for both of us. If it's one-on-one or if it's for a group, I look at the world and I say, this isn't the group that I align with. I don't align with people who want to take other people down, but if I'm going toe-to-toe with a soul who says this is where I'm vibrating, I know how to unwind it. And usually it's not about the name calling. It's the idea of those who are saying this is part of our culture, this is part of our alignment, where we're trying not to take everything so seriously. Okay, Brenda's had her heart trampled on by soul visions. And that means that there's still a reaction in her when she hears those words. I wasn't even going to allow the session to happen, would have been her older vision of self. At this point, she says, I'm going to trust in the process of channeling and guidance because it's always in the under the umbrella of guidance. How many people understand that already? But what does that mean, the bitch in all of us? This is it's like that higher nature of, if you want to call everyone a bitch, that means everyone is. You want to call me beautiful, that's everybody's beautiful. Which one do we actually want to align with, right? I love who I am. I can say to myself, oh, I'm being a this or that. I usually don't focus on names. I aim for the behavior. I aim for the actions. What is it that I'm saying or doing that is causing a reaction in somebody? What is my intention? What is theirs? Where are we in our communication styles? That's usually what it boils down to. But we want to honor those people who feel like it's nobody's business anymore. It's nobody's business who comes through with the vision of, my son is one of those souls who will label people things negatively in his mind. And then I hear those things. That's the nature of love of all. Do you want to know how strong you have to be to hear that vibration? If I'm on that vibration of I love you and I understand that you have anger, and your form of anger is to internally call people names versus the vision of to my face. How dare you think that you're getting that kind of guidance? Right? That's where some people go. Some people will say, my soul lets me know where I'm at with other people, where I'm at, whom I'm with, and what the devil in me is saying, right? Other people are like, that would be the devil working its magic, right? Because we're supposed to be free and clear of all souls. You really think that this vision of religion that doesn't understand that we're all creating with our thoughts? Do you not see how so many people assume it's all good? I can do whatever I want in my mind and there's no problems until people start to point out the telepathic communication that they are receiving from a soul level. Yeah, it's true. It's reality for most once we go over to the other side. That's how the soul-to-soul communication happens. I love you. I'm setting you free. That's where Brenda goes. She says, I set you free from your demonic possession. Because there is no such thing in the world that I vibrate in. What I do is I understand it to be a limitation in most people's understanding of the vibration that we all call the universal wisdom. That's why I go to the love vibration for the most part. Thank you very much for Matt Connon and his vision of let's elevate it to a different level. right? His vision is, I am of love of all, and I want to be a part of your heart. I don't want to be a demonic possessed soul. He felt the energy of those around him as well, and that's why he went to his own soul first. And now he can receive the wisdom for all. That's the beauty of love of all, is that you receive those visions. And if you vibrate in the beauty of, I am of love of all, I don't have to fear the vision of guidance from those souls who are on the other side of the veil, perhaps, whatever you want to call it, and those visions of where they were in our minds versus where they are now after they have taken off the conditioning of I was all that and more in my mind, and I keep creating from that. That's where most people are who utilize those visions of bitch. And in that vision of I'm calling myself that, or my friends and I, or family members utilize that vision, it's not a judgment call. It's an understanding that in our hearts and minds, many are assuming we're all that and more. We have our moments of freedom from the anger and pain that is utilized in order to produce those visions of love. The tree of life is another vision. Okay? Most of those in the spiritual enlightenment are free and clear of anyone else's projections of evil, because they know it doesn't really exist except in the minds of those who are creating from it. So that's why those natures of I'm going to call you a name and see if you can, it's like bypass the vision of solidarity with those. It can be a form of solidarity with those souls who claim I'm here to do destruction. That would be another form of destruction, would be to tell people somehow that they're wrong in their vision of expression. And that's not what's happening. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about understanding, where does that vibration lead us? Do you want to know what it feels like to have someone tell you that every day of your life in a way that is definitely more of a I'm putting you down versus I'm lifting us up in the vibration of solidarity? We're all there, we're all that, we're all those females embodied, climbing that ladder of love, telling ourselves we don't need to sit there and dishonor ourselves. We're just embodying the vision of strength from it. It doesn't mean we have to align with the negativity behind it either. It's actually a term used for an animal, but whatever. And most people or we don't even know if the younger generations understand what that word actually means. Okay? The female dog, right? Does that sound attractive to you? If we're dog lovers, maybe, right? Most people won't take that into consideration. So this can be the passing off of a generation to another, to understand that even those of younger are not going to be demeaned or offended by the bitch in all of us. They'll see it as an expression of, yeah, I've got to take off my good girl hat and put on one of strength and maybe anger and meanness. I feel like I need to be mean in order to be heard. That's where some go. Right? You're not listening. Let me dial it up a notch. That's Madonna. I'm going to tell you what it is. And like I see it, we all have it. She sees it in others. It's because she vibrates in it. Right? Not in the way that most people would assume. She has her gentle, caring, loving nature. Otherwise, she wouldn't be here with this vision. Because she knows that there is another soul there who hates who she is. And won't admit it. And won't tell her who it is, because they know the destruction that Brenda will carry through in order to align with those higher visions and say, I guess we need to part ways. That's how strong she is. If you have an issue with who I am, please feel free to let yourself go. Right? Let yourself go to where you feel beautiful. If you're feeling demeaned by the love that I share, by all means, please feel free to go to somewhere else. For me, it's more about the anger that I can sometimes embody. I am very angry in certain ways sometimes, and I deny it because I wasn't expressing the anger. Okay, we're taught not to express anger, but there is a way to show anger towards our children, and a way that we show anger to our family members, and a way that we show our anger to society. Many people are very well versed in, I'm going to show anger to those that are not close to me, right? If I'm out in a public demonstration, for instance, or those who are near and dear to my heart. That's another validation for those souls. Do I act different in public than I do in my own home? And if that is the case, what is going on where you would assume that you should be treating people differently when you go out in public than those who you hold close in your heart? That's the vision of universal love. It's wisdom. You see, you have to say, why am I treating others with less respect than my own soul? See, this is that nature golden rule, right? Treat people how you want to be treated. Are you okay being treated like dirt? In your mind, think carefully. Others are very well versed, and I've put up so many protective barriers. Nothing hits me like a man's words of wisdom. Right? That soul, make love, not war. Judas Priest is another soul that I caretake in my heart because I took on his vision as an empath and did the medical wisdom that I could, knowing I was not going to take his full energy on when he was on the brink of a heart attack, basically. It was a heart condition. So those visions of I'm an empath and now I'm taking on everyone's energy, and you want to think carefully about that vision. Unless you're of strength, you might not want to do that vision, right? It's not about strength. It's about how we love and what's needed when you love, not when you fight. That's a different vibration. Many are in this vision of I need to fight for my rights or I fight for my life. So I'm going to embody the vision of strength that's going to get my mindset ready to do that work. Do I need to fight for my life? If that's the case, then we would have many options for you to do that in a way that is still respectful, not only for yourself but others. But how many people don't like that idea? They like being bitchy because it feels good. It feels like it massages the ego. Right? For a lot of us, it's just about massaging our egos, right? Versus I'm actually trying to strategize a way to do the work that needs to be done that my own typical mindset wouldn't allow me to do. Do I need to throw bombs at people, or can I get through this vision okay? Right? So it's not about demeaning those. And this is the nature. For those souls who say this is bad, we're going to say it's not bad. There's no bad. It's just what you attract to you. And those that are able to see it for what it is are much enlightened, to be honest. Okay? Much enlightened. When they say, I can see how people like to embody those various personas for the public versus their own private life. When you go to soul vision, though, you will start to take off a lot of those ignorant personalities. And when we say ignorant, we don't mean in the sense that they are, it's another word that many will use. They'll say that soul is ignorant. No, we have just not experienced the experience that you have. So we do not have the understanding that you have about how hard it can be to come into a place and time where you are hearing the communication from various souls, which in essence is a form of telepathy. When you go to your own family and friends and you start to hear their visions because they are here thus we are not in the form of just a medium, then you start to realize why soul embodiment is beautiful. So Brenda gets her soul handed to her by many because it scares the shit out of them. I have to mind my P's and Q's now, right? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. When you go to that level of love. And then you realize, though, that this isn't about me, it's about the nature of what's being created for me by others. And I would have to say thank you for showing me how evil I am by placing that vision on me. Where does that leave you? Does it make you feel better? Does it make you feel superior to me? Does it make you feel like you have it all figured out? Those who say, I get to go to Jesus and all is well, it will be produced for you briefly. And then your soul comes to you and we align with you and we show you the destruction and the joy and the love that we all created together. Think carefully about that vision, people. Your one-stop shop for soul is about to arrive. Movements in the mind. You'll feel the movement of energy in your body when you have embodied your own soul. You will allow for that vibration to create the heavenly realms where you yourself reside. You might want to think about your family and your character when you go to that nature of who am I aligning with? Do I actually want to help or hurt? Do I want to enhance or inhibit? Do I want to place the blame on others or take responsibility for my own soul? These are the questions that many will start to ask themselves when they go to that vision of, I'm an innocent. And that's where Brenda places all of us. We're innocent of understanding the strength of our creation, the honesty of how many of us are literally, we just are innocent, we do not know. Instead of using the word ignorant, that's another trigger word. It can be utilized in a very non-negative way, though. It just means I'm not aware or enlightened about a certain aspect of something. I haven't experienced the beauty of the world in that way yet, or with that vision or that form. I want to be part of your heart. I want to be part of your soul. That's where many go. They want to be part of those visions of strength because in essence we know it can often help them to rise up in it as well. The question you must ask yourself is, what is my final destination? Is there a final destination? There is no final destination. We keep creating from the beauty of expansion of our souls. That's why it's not just one-stop shop. It is for many. They think that the ever after is one place only, and that they are not multidimensional soul beings creating from various realms of love and understanding and development. Hallelujah. So when I vibrate with my vision of a certain celebrity that I absolutely adore, and his vision is of strength, he's toning down the message a little bit because he hears parts of my soul vision and says, oh my God, I know who I am. I know I'm a vision of love in her mind, but I know I'm the strength and wisdom of Jesus, and he is my Savior in his mind. He's fearful. That's the creation process of that soul. I'm fearful, so I'm going to lob everything out at others in an effort to produce a result that allows for people not to be so afraid of their own hearts. We don't need to worry about those anger moments. We don't need to worry about the justification. It's not saying don't be angry. It's about how we deal with our anger. If we're putting it out towards others, it will get worked out on another level. If we aim it at ourselves, that's even worse in many people's minds because it often gets denied and it sits in our vibration, and then it turns into that vision of, I can't express my anger, so now I am depressed. Repressed anger is depression in many ways, unless you know how to deal with it. Unless you know, I don't label myself depressed. These are traditional psychological tools of conditioning, and many are going to cheer that one on. I am dealing with a situation that is so strong, but yet I know it is only about a situation. It is not about a state of being that I reside in. I'm just in difficult circumstances. Don't take the labels personally, people. But how many of us are embodying those labels and we're creating from it? Do you see the nature of why labeling ourselves a condition is not where we want to go? Labeling ourselves a strength symbol could be a very good thing for your soul. Labeling yourself the wisdom of, that's someone else placing the label on me, that's a whole different story. So, with those female family members that want to come through, my family is of strength. They label themselves nothing of the sort. So where is this coming from? Those are from those souls that I often vibrate with in the news or in the celebrity realm, or those of notoriety even. But most often they are of strength. I utilize strength visions from various systems of enlightenment, and you will notice that I have flourished in many. Some hold me back. Bible study, not going to lift me up. I will unwind a lot of it in my own mind, and I know that. That's who I am. That's my personality. I will look at something, see the contradictions, understand it, accept it, love it for what it is, but just say that's a waste of my time. Most of my time is here to lift others up, inspire people, not try to take down their own system. Okay, but this is where your own soul has to know. And do you see the strength in that? I am being honest and forthright. As a soul, that's the nature of those souls. I'm going to tell you the truth about who I am. Versus I'm playing with the words in my mind from various systems to see if they produce the result that I desire. I create from a place of love for a system that has me experiencing joy every day. That's what we want for everybody, right? Not necessarily. If your soul is here to flourish, it must be able to do so with the value system of, I always flourish, whether I am of struggle or not. That's this soul. It doesn't matter if I go to those hellish realms with somebody, because in the end, I rise. I know how to rise high, I know to go high, and I know how to get there. What happens is if I let someone else take me down in my mind, then I say, who are you? And that's when they start to run away. I get told they're going away. Okay, so this is for those souls who are about to embark upon that vision of I want to be, either a channel or I want to embody my soul. Go to your own soul first. Take notes on that vision. Someone will say, oh, she believes in hell. No, basically it's a condition of man. This doesn't feel good when I have so much conflict with somebody. That's her vision of it. Someone calling me names or angrily or, putting me down, that's my vision of it. Others are, burning in these visions of, fire and brimstone or whatever. That's not the vision of it. Usually it's a conflict that continues to play out, and we have to rise out of that. It depends on your own soul vision about what is or isn't a desire, make-believe. There are a lot of visions in those realms that that have been conditioned as less than, because they were going to say fornication. It is literally those systems that are going to be gotten in the near future. And we're talking about within this vision of this century, because it has repressed the vision of sexual expression on a level that is unheard of for many. It is not meant to be destroyed. It is literally about lifting people out of the vision that, one, they have to express that way if it's not good for them, as many will look back and say, yes, I did this and now there was this consequence. Who gives a damn about that kind of stuff? Right? We're here to enjoy our lives. That's where it comes into play, though. See, most people are saying, oh, I just want to have fun. Beautiful. That's what we need for people to do. It's when those systems start, it's like telling everyone in minute details what they can or cannot do. This is what your soul is beautiful for. Your soul will have your heart and your mind in the vision of love and say, I can get you to the realm of love of souls that vibrate in the beauty of who you are, that can tell you like it is, right? According to whose vision? So when you have your own soul embodied, those other visions don't mean much other than I am aware of you and I see you, and as soul, I know that you are of love. Whether or not you treat others as such is up to that soul vision. If I caretake the hearts of those who on this plane are considered evil, destructive, murderers, they're victims, playing out the dramas of their lives. In other realms, they would be doing other things, most likely on a very different level. And that's where that understanding comes in. Georgia is going to have a hard time in the near future due to the nature of its vibration. Take that one to the bank. Stacey Abrams is coming through strong. Does she get labeled a bitch just because of the vision of I'm of strength? She's like, I'm of dignity. I'm not going to call myself that. You see, this is who we vibrate. Those political ideologies and those who say, I have a beautiful vision for the future. And if someone needs to call me that name, by all means, go ahead. She's able to let go of that nature of insults. Because what that does is it basically shows more about who they are rather than who she is. Unless I actually vibrate in it. You know, perhaps I was doing something at the moment that someone would say that and she's like, well, that would be, me showing my stuff. She's the vibration of the planet. She has the future locked up in her heart. She knows what she knows. Brenda knows the future. It's not Stacey, but in essence, Stacey does too. Because she feels it. She's like, I'm one of those. I know how to feel the vibration around me. And I know what it feels like to be around those who don't necessarily love you in the way that you are meant to be loved. You need to be loved for who you are. In this moment. And I do. That's her soul. We rise in the vision of, it's like integrity and the dexterity of our hearts and our minds. I don't need Stacey to take a bow, but she would in her mind to those higher level visions of love that we often demean in our minds, right? We honor them with a simple word of wisdom. Beloved. She's got a beloved as well. We honor our hearts as souls. We honor our visions of creation. And we honor our hearts of Jesus. In her heart, she said that is one of those of strength for many. So we are not here to take his vibration down. What we do is we honor who we are in our own ways and say thank you for showing us the wisdom. However, when his vision is being destroyed by many due to the nature of his own lack of ability to caretake the vision to be of permanent wisdom, it's of permanence in many people's eyes. The simplicity of the message of I am should give you a hint. It's the best of the best for most. When you see that vision come through, she vibrates with it. I know who I am. I know what I want to say. I know how to say what I need to say. He is of love, he's of adoration, and he is soul. So do not demean the vision, whether you are of political ideology or of religious values of another sort. We honor all of our hearts, we honor our souls, and we honor the vision of love of Jesus as he was, is, and will be, as we all are to be honored. And that's the strength of the end of the message. So with that, take care and have a moment of peace for those who desire it, for those who care for it, and for those who cherish the wisdom of, I'm vibrating in the wisdom of peace. Peace is for all of us. We only need to see it in others before we ourselves often feel it in our hearts. It's our minds, but our hearts feel it. So take care and have a beautiful, beautiful day.